Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello friends, this is Professor Ravin Zugade from Department of Chemistry, Rashtrasanta Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, and we are discussing about crystal field theory, which is an important theory for explaining the properties of complexes or the coordination compounds. Now this is second lecture in this module. The outline of this module is, in the first lecture we have discussed the postulates of crystal field theory and type of crystal field splitting or the splitting of the d orbitals in three types of complexes, that is the octahedral complexes, the tetrahedral complexes and square planar complexes, and an intermediate case between the octahedral and square planar complex, that is the tetragonally distorted octahedral complex. Now in this second lecture we will be discussing about the crystal field stabilization energy and the calculations involved in it in case of the octahedral as well as tetrahedral complexes. In the third lecture we will discuss about magnetic properties, absorption spectra, and then Jahn-Teller distortion or Jahn-Teller distortion and some typical questions. So now let us focus on this lecture number 2, which is basically based on the crystal field stabilization energy and the calculations involved in it. In the last lecture we have discussed about this particular diagram. This is free metal ion where all the 5 d orbitals are degenerate. In case of octahedral crystal field or in case of octahedral complexes, the splitting of d orbitals take place with 3 T2g orbitals in the lower energy and 2 Eg orbitals with higher energy. The splitting between these two is called as the crystal field splitting energy, denoted by delta O for octahedral complexes, delta T for tetrahedral complexes, and delta Sp for the square planar complexes. Now it has been stated in the last lecture that this delta O is greater than this delta T, whereas this delta O is less than this delta Sp. The relation between delta T and delta O is delta T is about 4/9 times delta O, whereas delta Sp is about 1.3 times as compared to delta O. Now this we have discussed in the previous lecture. Now in this lecture we will be discussing about an important energy called as crystal field stabilization energy. Now let us see what is this crystal field stabilization energy. We know that the degenerate d orbitals split under the influence of ligands, and this splitting is called as crystal field splitting. Now the net energy or net amount of energy which is released due to preferential filling of electrons in lower d orbitals is called as crystal field stabilization energy. It is actually different from the value of delta O or crystal field splitting energy. If you have 5 d orbitals which are degenerate, then electron can occupy any of the 5 orbitals. But if there is a splitting of the d orbitals, then electron has to forcibly go to the lower d orbitals, and when it goes to lower d orbital there is a release of energy, and the net release of energy will be called as crystal field stabilization energy. There is one more energy term we will come across in this lecture, that is called as the pairing energy. This pairing energy is defined as the amount of energy which is required to pair up the electrons in lower orbitals against the interelectronic repulsion. This is called as the pairing energy. So when electrons pair up in the lower d orbitals, then it has to overcome a force of repulsion which is the interelectronic repulsion, and that excess energy which is to be provided, that is called as the pairing energy. So it means that these two energy are opposite in their direction. Crystal field stabilization energy is the amount of energy released, whereas pairing energy is the amount of energy which is required. Now we will discuss the crystal field stabilization energy calculations in tetrahedral as well as octahedral complexes. Let us start with the octahedral complexes first. So now consider a system having only one electron in d orbital in an octahedral complex. Now if you have a free metal ion, it has all the 5 d orbitals which are degenerate. And if all the 5 d orbitals are degenerate, then electron can occupy any of these 5 d orbitals. Since they are degenerate, electron can be present in dxy, dyz, dxz, dx square minus y square or dz square. So all the 5 d orbitals are equally probable for occupying the electron in the d1 system. But when there is a splitting of d orbitals, we know that in case of octahedral complexes, the 3d orbitals dxy, dyz, dxz lower in energy, whereas dx square minus y square and dz square, they increase in their energy, called as T2g and Eg sets of orbitals, and the splitting between them is denoted by delta O, whereas the increase in energy by Eg is 3 by 5 delta O, and decrease in energy in case of T2g is 2 by 5 delta O. Now if we say this is 3 by 5 delta O, or we can call it as 0.6 delta O, and this is 0.4 delta O. Now in this case, the electron has to preferentially go to this T2g set of orbital. Now it cannot occupy all the 5, but it has to forcibly go to the dxy, dyz or dxz orbital. So the filling of electron is like this. And since all the 3d orbitals which are T2g orbitals are degenerate, they have equal energy, then electron is free to move anywhere, or it can occupy any of these 3 orbitals. Now when the electron goes to lower d orbital or T2g orbital, the electronic configuration in d1 system can be shown as T2g1 Eg0. Since electron has occupied this lower d orbital, the net release of energy will be 2 by 5 delta O. So that is called as crystal field stabilization energy, which is negative, that is minus 2 by 5 delta O, because negative sign indicates the release of energy, and since there is only one electron, so it will be minus 2 by 5 delta O into 1, which is equal to minus 2 by 5 delta O. So this is the crystal field stabilization energy in case of D1 system. Now you can clearly see what is the relation between crystal field stabilization energy and crystal field splitting energy. This delta O is called as crystal field splitting energy, whereas the net energy which is released, that is minus 2 by 5 delta O, that is called as crystal field stabilization energy. Consider D2 system. Now again, in case of free metal ion or isolated metal ion, you have the 2 electrons which can occupy any of the 5d orbitals, but in case of octahedral complex, the electrons have to occupy the lower d orbitals, and they can occupy any 2 of these 3 orbitals, that is the T2g orbitals. And if they occupy the T2g orbitals, the electronic configuration can be represented as T2g2 Eg0. And since the energy of the T2g orbitals is less, definitely per electron there is a release of 2 by 5 delta O. So for 2 electrons, the net release in energy will be 4 by 5 delta O. So crystal field stabilization energy in this case will be minus 4 by 5 delta O, or minus 0.8 delta O. This is the net energy released. Now this actually, the energy released acts as a driving force for splitting of the d orbitals. If there is a splitting, there is a net release of energy, and since there is net release of energy, it leads to stabilization. We know that energy and stability, they are inversely proportional to each other. That is, with increase in energy, the stability decreases. With decrease in energy, the stability increases. And since there is a net release of energy in all these cases, you will find this is called as crystal field stabilization energy, because it leads to stabilization of the complex. Consider D3 system. Again in this case, you have all the 3 or 5d orbitals degenerate in case of isolated metal ion, but in case of crystal field splitting of octahedral complex, the 3 electrons have to preferentially go to the dxy, dyz and dxz orbitals. They remain unpaired. They were unpaired over here. They remain unpaired even in the complex. And the electronic configuration can be shown as T2g3 Eg0. Now the crystal field stabilization energy is given by minus 2 by 5 times delta O, which is the energy released per electron, multiplied by the number of electrons 3, which is equal to minus 6 by 5 delta O, or minus 1.2 delta O. So this is the relation between crystal field stabilization energy and crystal field splitting energy. So in case of D1, D2, D3 system, we have seen that electrons have preferentially occupied the T2G orbitals. Now we come to a situation where you have a D4 system. Again, in the isolated metal ion or free metal ion, the electrons are unpaired and they are present, or they can be present in any of the 5d orbitals. So there is single electron filling in 4 orbitals out of the 5. But when there is a crystal field splitting like this, then the first electron definitely goes to dxy orbital, the second electron will go to dyz orbital, third electron will go to dxz orbital. So these 3 orbitals are filled first. Now the fourth electron has a choice whether to go to the higher d orbital, which is a eg orbital, or it can go to T2G orbital undergoing pairing in any one of these orbitals. Now who will decide whether the electron will go to the higher energy orbital or the electron will go to the lower energy orbital? Now this will be governed by the values of crystal field splitting energy delta O and the pairing energy. Now what is this pairing energy? We have seen that pairing energy is the amount of energy which is required to pair up the electron against the interelectronic repulsion. So if the electron pairs up in any of the T2G orbitals, so suppose it undergoes pairing over here, then there is an interelectronic repulsion between the two electrons. Even if their spins are opposite, their charges are negative, and hence there is a Coulombic force of repulsion between the two electrons, and as a result some excess energy is required. The system gets slightly destabilized, and that factor is called as the pairing energy. Now another aspect of this pairing energy is, if you have 4 unpaired electrons, then there is more what is called as the exchange energy of the electrons. While discussing the electron filling in various orbitals, that is the exchange energy concept we have considered. Now what is this exchange energy? When you have number of unpaired electrons distributed in various degenerate orbitals, then they can undergo exchange within themselves. It leads to delocalization of electrons, and whenever there is a delocalization, there is a net release of energy. That is called as a exchange energy. If there is a pairing of electron taking place over here, the exchange energy decreases. Hence, the release of energy is less. So these are two factors which basically affect what is called as the pairing energy. So interelectronic repulsion and the exchange energy. So now this pairing energy and delta O will decide whether the electron will go to T2G set of orbital undergoing pairing, or it will go to EG set of orbital, thereby remaining unpaired. Now if the ligand is weak, now in case of weak ligand, this delta O, the crystal field splitting, is less. Now if the crystal field splitting is less, then delta O is less than the pairing energy. It means that if electron goes over here, it has to have additional energy which is equal to delta O. Whereas if electron undergoes pairing in this T2G orbital, then it will have to acquire an additional energy which is equal to pairing energy. Now electron is a very good we can say businessman. What it does, it tries to acquire that energy which is minimum or which is less, so that the stability is maximum. So in case of this, delta O is less than pairing energy, so electron will prefer to acquire this delta O amount of energy, thereby going into the higher energy EG orbital. In this case, it will have to acquire an additional energy equal to delta O, but this delta O is less than the pairing energy, so electron will prefer to go to the EG set of orbital and remain unpaired. Now since all the 4 electrons are unpaired, this complex is said to be high spin complex. Now exactly in this case what is happening is, the electronic configuration can be shown as T2G3 EG1, And in such case, the crystal field stabilization energy we can calculate, since there are 3 electrons in T2G set, each of them stabilizing the system by a factor of 2 by 5 delta O. So it will be minus 2 by 5 delta O into 3 plus 1 electron destabilizing by a factor of 3 by 5 delta O. So plus 3 by 5 delta O. So that is equal to net release of energy of 3 by 5 delta O or 0.6 delta O. So this is the crystal field stabilization energy in D4 system. This is under the weak ligand condition. But if the ligand is strong, then the crystal field splitting is large. And since crystal field splitting is large, this delta O value is higher than the pairing energy. So in this case, the first 3 electrons definitely go to the T2G set of orbitals, but the 4th electron will prefer to undergo pairing because pairing energy is now less than the crystal field splitting energy. So instead of acquiring delta O value and going to the higher energy orbital, it will prefer to remain paired up in the lower energy orbital. As a result, the complex which is formed is called as the low spin complex. Now if we see, there are 4 unpaired electrons in the free metal ion. Similarly, you have 4 unpaired electrons in the weak ligand case or in case of the high spin complex. In case of low spin complex, the number of unpaired electrons has decreased and hence it is also called as the low spin complex. Now the electronic configuration can be represented in case of low spin complex as T2G4 Eg2, and for this the crystal field stabilization energy can be calculated as 4 electrons now. So stabilizing by a factor of 2 by 5 delta O each into 4, so that is equal to minus 8 by 5 delta O plus 1 additional pairing has been taken place. As a result, plus 1 pairing energy. So this is called as crystal field stabilization energy, which is sum of the two energies. This is the amount of energy which is released and this is the amount of energy which is required. And hence the net effect is either formation of a low spin complex or formation of a high spin complex depending on the relative values of delta O and P. Coming to the D5 configuration, again in case of weak ligand condition, the first 3 electrons will occupy the T2G orbitals, and since the weak ligand is there, as a result delta O is lesser than pairing energy, and so electrons will occupy the higher d orbitals and the complex will be called as a high spin type of complex. The electronic configuration in this case can be represented as T2G3 Eg2, and net crystal field stabilization energy 3 electrons multiplied by 2 by 5 delta O and 2 electrons multiplied by 3 by 5 delta O. The net crystal field stabilization energy comes out to be 0 over here because the total compensation of energy between the two sets of orbitals. So whatever is the stabilization achieved by T2G set of orbitals has been compensated by the destabilization by Eg set of orbitals. In case of strong ligand, the preferential filling will be in the T2G set of orbital, whereby the electrons will undergo pairing. And since electron is undergoing pairing, because of the delta O higher than the pairing energy, hence in case of D5 system, the electronic configuration can be shown as T2G5 Eg0. Now since there are 2 additional pairings there, so 2 pairing energies have to be considered, where P is the mean pairing energy or average pairing energy. So 2 times of this because of the 2 pairings, and since 5 electrons are there in the T2G set of orbital, each of them stabilizing by a factor of minus 2 by 5 delta O, hence minus 2 by 5 delta O into 5 plus 2p will give you minus 2 delta O plus 2p. So this is the crystal field stabilization energy in case of a low spin complex. Coming to D6 system, again if there is a weak ligand, there is a small splitting, and now the electrons will prefer to go to higher energy orbital instead of undergoing pairing. But the 6th electron definitely has to pair up, but it is similar to a pair present in the free metal ion. Now free metal ion also contains an electron pair. Similarly, in case of weak crystal field splitting, again there is a pair of electrons. Hence, the electronic configuration can be represented for the high spin complex as T2G4 Eg2, and the crystal field stabilization energy is given by minus 2 by 5 delta O into 4 plus 3 by 5 delta O into 2. The pairing energy is not considered here because this electron is already paired in the free metal ion. As a result, we need not have to consider the pairing energy in case of high spin complexes. Pairing energy is considered only in case of low spin complexes where there are additional pairings. Consider the strong ligand condition where there is a large crystal field splitting and the value of delta O is greater than pairing energy. In this case, the first 3 electrons occupy the T2G set of orbitals, whereas the next 3 electrons are also paired up in the T2G set of orbital because now the value of delta O is greater than pairing energy. Hence, the configuration in case of octahedral complex can be represented as T2G6 Eg0. Now in this case, the crystal field stabilization energy is given by minus 2 by 5 delta O into 6 because 6 electrons are there in the T2G set plus 2p. Now why 2p? Because one electron pair is already paired over here. So additional pairings are only 2. So net crystal field stabilization energy is minus 12 by 5 delta O plus 2p. Consider D7 system. Again, in case of weak ligand condition, the first 3 electrons go into T2G set of orbitals. The fourth electron will go to Eg set because now again the delta O value is less than pairing energy. So pairing will not be preferred. Fifth electron will again go to Eg. Sixth and seventh electrons will undergo pairing. But pairing energy is again not considered because 2 electron pairs are present in isolated metal ion. They remain as it is in the complex also. So there is no excess energy required. It is again a high spin complex with electronic configuration represented as T2G5 Eg2. And the crystal field stabilization energy is given by minus 2.2 by 5 delta O into 5 because 5 electrons are there in T2G set of orbital, and plus 3 by 5 delta O into 2 because 2 electrons are there in the Eg set of orbitals. Hence the net crystal field stabilization energy is minus 4 by 5 delta O. Okay, coming to the strong ligand condition where there is a large crystal field splitting. Now electrons will prefer to undergo pairing in the lower d orbitals. But after pairing of 3 electrons, there is one more electron left which has to go to the Eg set of orbitals or higher energy orbital. As a result, we can write the electronic configuration of this complex as D7 system as T2G6 and Eg1 in low spin state. If we see, the number of unpaired electrons in the free metal are 3. The number of unpaired electron in high spin complex are same as 3, but number of unpaired electrons in low spin complex is only 1. The crystal field stabilization energy in this case is given by minus 2 by 5 delta O into 6 unpaired electrons, or sorry 6 electrons in the T2G set plus 3 by 5 delta O into 1 electron in the Eg set. This has destabilized by a factor of 3 by 5 delta O plus one additional pairing which has taken place as compared to the free metal ion, because free metal ion is already having 2 pairs of electrons, but in this case there is a third electron pair. Hence one pairing energy is to be considered, and hence the net crystal field stabilization energy is given by minus 9 by 5 delta O plus 1 pairing energy. Now consider D8 system. Now in case of D8 system, we will see what is happening in case of weak ligand condition or strong field condition and weak field condition. In case of a weak ligand condition or a weak field condition, there is a small splitting. As a result, the first 3 electrons occupy the T2G set. Next 2 electrons occupy Eg set, and next 3 remaining electrons again occupy the T2G set undergoing pairing. So total number of pairings in the free metal ion are 3, total number of pairings in complex also 3. Hence the electronic configuration can be shown as T2G6 Eg2. Again, the crystal field stabilization energy is given by minus 2 by 5 delta O into 6 electrons in the T2G set and plus 3 by 5 delta O into 2 electrons in the Eg set. Thereby net stabilization by a factor of minus 6 by 5 delta O. In case of strong ligand condition, which is a low spin state, we'll find that the first 3 electrons occupy T2G set, the next 3 electrons undergo pairing because now the pairing energy is less than delta O value. The next 2 electrons occupy the Eg set. Now if we see this electronic configuration of both of them are identical, it means that now you cannot call it as a high spin or low spin complex. In both the cases, the configuration or electronic configuration is same, T2G6 Eg2, here also T2G6 Eg2. It means that the ligand strength does not affect the spin state of the complex in case of D8 configuration. Similar condition we have seen in case of D1, D2, D3 system. There was only one possibility, all the electrons occupying the T2G set of orbitals. Similarly, in case of D8 configuration also, there is only one value of crystal field stabilization energy, that is minus 6 by 5 delta O, since the electronic configuration is same. So there is no alternate choice. So in this case, there is no high spin or low spin complex. There is only one spin state. Same is the case with D9 system. The electrons first occupy the T2G set of orbitals. Then they can go to either Eg set or can undergo pairing first. But ultimately, the final electronic configuration is T2G6 Eg3, and hence the net crystal field stabilization energy is 2 by 5 delta O negative value multiplied by 6 plus 3 by 5 delta O into 3 electrons in the Eg set, thereby net stabilization by a factor of 3 by 5 delta O. In case of D10 system, the electronic configuration will be T2G6 and Eg4, thereby the net crystal field stabilization energy will be 0, because whatever is the stabilization or stability achieved by these 6 electrons is compensated by the destabilization by these 4 electrons. This is similar to a high spin D5 system. In case of high spin D5 also, we have seen that crystal field stabilization energy is coming out to be 0. Similarly, D10 system crystal field stabilization energy comes out to be 0. So there is no net stabilization or destabilization. Now we come to tetrahedral complexes. Now this is the interesting case because tetrahedral complex has only 4 ligands arranged tetrahedrally around the metal ion. In case of octahedral complex, we have seen there are 6 ligands which are occupying the corners or vertices of the octahedron or regular octahedron. Now, what is the difference between the two? There are two important differences. The first difference is number of ligands. In octahedral, there are 6 ligands, whereas in tetrahedral, there are 4 ligands. As a result, next net crystal field splitting will be less because the field which is exerted by 4 ligands is less than the field which is exerted by the 6 ligands. As a result, the crystal field splitting will be less in case of tetrahedral complex as compared to octahedral complex. Second important effect is the repulsion between the metal d orbitals and the ligand. We can see that the electrons are approaching the metal ion in case of tetrahedral complex, and the approach is in between the coordinate axis, that is xyz axis. In case of octahedral complex, we have seen that the approach of the ligand is along xyz axis, whereas in case of tetrahedral complex, the approach of ligand is in between the xyz axis. But there is a fundamental difference between the octahedral and tetrahedral crystal field splitting, that these electrons are approaching between 3 axes. the approach of this ligand is exactly at the center of x, y and z axis, whereas the lobes of the orbitals are present in the xy plane, yz plane and xz plane. If we consider the geometry of dxy, dyz and dxz orbitals, whose lobes are present in between the axes, but they are present in the xy, yz and xz planes, whereas the ligands are not approaching in the plane, but they are approaching between these planes. Hence, there is no face-to-face repulsion between the metal d orbitals and the ligands, and hence there is a net less force of repulsion between the approaching ligand and metal d orbitals as compared to octahedral complex. In case of octahedral complex, there is a direct face-to-face repulsion between the incoming ligand and metal d orbitals. This is not the case in case of tetrahedral, and as a result of both the factors, the net crystal field splitting is less in case of tetrahedral complex. Since the crystal field splitting is less and the pattern of splitting is also opposite, the E set of orbital is having lower energy and the T2 set of orbital is having higher energy, and the crystal field stabilization or the stabilization by a factor of -3/5 delta T in case of E orbital electrons and 2/5 delta T destabilization if the electron enters into T2 set of orbitals. So we can calculate the crystal field stabilization energy similar to octahedral case, but in this case the delta T value, it is much less than delta O, and as a result it is always less than the pairing energy. And since delta T is less than pairing energy, all the complexes in tetrahedral crystal field or all the tetrahedral complexes are high spin in nature, and since they are high spin in nature, there will not be forceful pairing in the lower d orbitals. So the electronic configurations can be shown as D1 will be definitely in E set, D2 again E set, D3 electron will never go to E set for pairing because pairing energy is higher than the crystal field splitting. So electrons definitely will go to the higher energy orbital, thereby forming high spin complex. Even D4, D5, D6, now the electron will go to the lower d orbital, D7, D8, D9 and D10. So in this case all the complexes are high spin in nature, and the crystal field stabilization energy can be calculated as -3/5 times delta T into number of electrons in E set plus 2/5 delta T into number of electrons in T2 set. So to summarize this lecture, in octahedral complexes we have D1, D2 and D3 systems where the electrons preferentially go to T2 set, whereas T2G set, whereas the EG set of orbital is vacant, and net crystal field stabilization energy is -0.4 delta O, -0.8 delta O and -1.2 delta O. The negative sign represents the stabilization or release of energy. In case of D8, D9, D10 system, there is only one possible configuration, the T2G6 EG2, T2G6 EG3 and T2G6 EG4. Crystal field stabilization energy is given by -1.2 delta O and -0.6 delta O, whereas net crystal field stabilization energy in D10 system is 0. In case of D4, D5, D6 and D7 configurations, there are two spin states. In case of high spin state, the electrons try to remain unpaired as far as possible. In case of low spin state, electrons undergo pairing in the lower d orbitals, that is the T2G set of orbitals. And in case of tetrahedral complexes, all the tetrahedral complexes are high spin in nature because delta T is always less than pairing energy because of the less crystal field splitting in case of tetrahedral complex as compared to octahedral complex, and hence the crystal field stabilization energy can be calculated by using this particular formula. Now this is end of this lecture, and we will continue with the remaining part of this in lecture 3. Thank you very much.